What's up? What's up, y'all? Let's get into these free, well, not free, card pulls. Let me see if I can pin it in here. Oh, okay. Stickers. Okay. Send in. I don't know why it won't let me type one. It's annoying. Josie, go lay down. Alright, you guys, we're gonna be doing. Hey, up. Good girl, go lay down. Alright, welcome in, you guys. If you want to get a free card pull on your relationship or your own personal self, we are doing card pulls for 100 point gifts or more. If you send in a gift that costs, if you send in a gift that's worth $1, which is 100, then you are qualified to get a card pull. So that's what I'm doing right now for those who are wanting to get a card pull. It can be an individual card pull. It can be a card pull tied to your relationships, whether it's platonic or romantic. So if you want a card pull, just put your name down to receive a card pull. If you're wanting this tied to you and your union, whether it's platonic or romantic, then just put your name and the other person. Okay. But if you want to get on the list, you can always get on the list. But right now we're doing 100 plus point gifts for a card pull. So if you go and click on the little present box at the bottom right corner, it'll show you different gifts you can send in, as low as 1 cent to whatever, right? Excuse me. But if you want to get a card pull, you have to send in a gift that's at least 100, worth 100 points. Card pull equals 100 points or more for a card pull. 100 points or more for a card pull. He ain't by that I know. Gone out there to go. I'm about to drop it down. He by that I ain't. Oh my gosh, why is this song in my head? I haven't heard this song in ages. You ain't about that life, though. You ain't about that life. Gone off that liquor. I'm about to drop it low. Why is this song in my head? Okay. But yeah, girl, I don't know if I'm going to do a collective. So if you guys want to get on the list, feel free. Some of y'all are working on getting yourself out of a poverty mindset or reality. Whether your finances low, You've possibly been planting some seeds, and you're encouraged to have patience. Continue to be disciplined and stand your ground when it comes to those things. If you guys want a card pull, you can send in a gift that's worth 100 points or more. This card pull can be for your individual self, or this could be for you and another. So, for example, you can put your name down and the other person's name down. If it's just a card pull for you, you can just put your name down. And I'll give you a card pull, whether I'm using a relationships deck, whether it's platonic or romantic, or whether I'm using an individualistic deck, focusing solely on you. But yeah, stand your ground. You possibly been standing your ground already. I feel like some of you guys have a goal, a vision, and that's what you're aiming for. I'm also seeing marriage and healthy relationships that you pour into and they pour back into you, because individually you're self-full and vice versa with these people. Jonesy, come here. Come. Go lay down. Or go up there. Which one? Go lay down. Go lay down. Alright. Let's see. Any messages here? Yeah, you guys went through something that was very much possibly caused some type of defeat. Mental defeat. It changed who you were. It changed your external reality. But I feel like a lot of these things had to happen in order for you to come into your truth, in order for things to be exposed. I feel like some of you guys have been on this long journey, and you're finally about to receive whatever it is you have been aiming towards, on a mission towards. And maybe this could have a lot to do with yourself. Maybe you're working on some things. Somebody said in the chat that they are 1 month clean. Congratulations. If you can make it a day without something, you can make a week without something. If you can make a week without something, you can make a month without something. You can make a month without something, you can make a year without something. If you can make a year without something, you can go forever without it. Okay? I'm seeing a wish being granted, especially when it comes to self. Honestly, this is happiness. Something is coming in for the collective if it hasn't already. I don't know why I'm seeing lies, trickery, deception. Maybe somebody is operating strategically. Maybe this is some type of form of manipulation in a not so good way. Or maybe it's some type of manipulation that's, you know, like alchemy or whatever the case may be. You could have fire energy, fire placements, air placements. I'm seeing a male and a woman. The male, it's giving pretty much head over heart. The woman is giving family-oriented, beautiful inside and out. But I am seeing this new opportunity. All right, but if you guys want a card pull, all you have to do is send in a gift that is at least 100 points or more. Okay? Maybe a lot of you guys, you're very smart and you're being encouraged to trust in or operate from intelligence. Standing in your power. Okay? I'm seeing a black cat. I'm seeing somebody who's confident. Maybe you're I'm seeing something is like a routine. Okay, so Earth energy, Taurus, Capricorn, and or Virgo, Gemini, Libra, and or Aquarius, Fire, Aries, Leo, and or Sagittarius is significant. And I feel like there's a new opportunity, a blessing, a promise that was made from the divine itself. It's going to be something that's tangible. This could be unexpected income, more income. This could be a new home, a new car, a new attitude, a new mindset. I feel like a lot of you guys are struggling in some type of way, whether that's within your health, whether that's within your mental, your emotions. Some of you guys came out of this dark place and dark time within your emotions, or this is what's to come in the future. This journey has been very long. Maybe there was something that was done in a routine way. And I feel like you guys yourself, you're operating in a space where something is like, you're on this mission of finance, health, or just things that's tied to the earthly plane overall. Maybe you're changing your life. Because a lot of things just didn't serve you anymore. I'm seeing an emotional, balanced, and high IQ individual who's on this mission. This is someone who's family-oriented. Someone who, like I said, comes off as very sexy, but also on the inside as well. You're somebody with great inner strength who's been through a lot and who's overcome a lot. There may be things that you still can cry about, that you're still, sad about. So maybe it's time to reflect on the people who've hurt you so that you can finally let go of that burden. Because a lot of you guys, you're walking around with stress that is not yours. Stress that doesn't have to exist. A lot of you guys were left out in the cold. This could have been 5 years ago. See, a lot of things happened over the course of years, and I feel like you've just been continuously going through like things. Maybe life has felt the same, looked the same, or something was being done in a routine way, maybe in the same way. Tell me more about this Knight of Pentacles. See, this is a person that's reliable, trustworthy. This King of Swords is very intelligent, but can also be head over heart. This Queen of Wands is somebody who is most definitely confident. Okay, the creator of action, energy, creativity, work. What is the overall energy? So I could be talking about 3 separate people. It doesn't have to be. This could be your energy. It could be other individuals. I'm seeing that you guys are building something on solid foundation. You're working on things. You're standing your ground. You've been very resilient. Wow, really? Shout out to you, Luna. I appreciate you. Okay. Welcome to the team as well. Thank you for sending in a heart me. If you guys want to get a card pull, whether it's for yourself or for you and other people, whether it's platonic connections or romantic, you can just send in a gift that is at least 100 points or more. Right now, this is a collective. So overall energy, you guys are standing your ground. No matter if you're by yourself, no matter how many people is on the opposite end. Some of you guys could be very protective of yourself. You could be in defense mode. And I don't know why I feel like saying as you should. Because, I mean, you went through a lot. I just feel like you're smarter. You're stronger. Or you realize your strength. You're just wiser. And you realize you can't keep doing the same things over and over and over, expecting different results. So I feel like whatever this pain and all this other stuff was that you went through, it changed you internally, and it also shifted your world, on the outside. So there's been major change internally and externally. You guys have been very resilient. No matter what it was, no matter how many obstacles kept coming your way, no matter how many years you've constantly been going through the ups and the downs and the depression and the stress and the abandonment and the pain and the sorrow, I only feel like you were inexperienced, naive, gullible, right? So you were possibly bound to bump your head and go through things, right? If you knew better, you would do better, right? So don't beat yourself up. Your feelings are also valid. But don't continue to carry what is not yours to carry. Some of you guys, you're stressed out, you're burdened. Whatever is causing this, let it go. I don't know if you're replaying events over and over and over and not really healing. I don't know if things happened years ago that you still haven't accepted or reflected upon. A lot of you guys are in hermit mode. You're in solitude. You're encouraged to do some introspection if you're not already. But regardless, I feel, and then I thought of, I'm walking on sunshine. I'm seeing a wish being fulfilled. Like, I'm seeing somebody literally being content, especially within love, relationships, emotions, and creativity. Even while experiencing so much stuff in your life, it's like you don't look like what you've been through, and a lot of times from the outside looking in, you look like a person who's not going through anything unless you show it. But even if you show certain things, you still show up as if you have this yellow or rainbow aura or whatever, you know, the opposite of a black aura. God bless me. I feel like you've come into different versions of yourself. And I feel like everything, the different versions of yourself, like I'm getting like 3 different energies. These versions of yourself were low-key working together. If, you know, take that how it resonates. There's also going to be some type of union. I'm seeing some type of union where you're collaborating with someone on something. Thank you for that. Okay. You guys, if you send in gifts that are 100 points or more, you can get a card pull, whether you want it on you and someone else or just individually. So Jim, let me know if you want the card pull, love, or if you were just sending that in for appreciation, etc. Thank you for the gifts. But I am seeing some type of union. This could be a romantic connection. It doesn't have to be. As I was talking about the 3 of Pentacles energy, it just popped on out. But they can go hand in hand. It doesn't have to be. Regardless, it's still going to resonate to whoever, no matter how I put the message. You just need it on you. Okay, love. No problem. Right now, we're doing a collective, you guys. So I'm gonna give you your card pull right now. Which deck are you feeling more called towards? Are you feeling more called towards the angel number messages, the spirit animal oracle deck, or the spirit messages oracle cards? But yeah, some of you guys could just be struggling. Like I said, this could be mental health. This could be emotional. Okay. Okay, love. Messages from your spiritual team. Cleansing the energy within and around. I would like to focus solely on Jim's energy and her energy alone. I am not the querent. She is. Okay, these cards seem like they want to come out, but I'm going to keep shuffling. Alright, if you guys too want a card pull. Okay. I may... See, there's like multiple and many cards coming out for you. So the collective most definitely could resonate for you. If you guys want a card pull, you can just send in a gift that's 100 points or more. Card pull for Jim. What is a card pull for Jim? Jim, you are not moving too slowly. Drop the self-induced pressure. You are at the sweet spot between taking care of yourself and still making advancements on your goals. On this path, there is no such thing as being behind. Smile, breathe, carry on. And the other card that I had seen that was coming out was a card that was like, keep moving. I kind of forgot, so I don't want to just say words that, you know, I honestly don't even remember. But I hope that helps. Thank you for the gift. That was a message from your spiritual team, love. I return your energy back to you. We're going to get back resumed into the collective. You're welcome. Thank you. So tell me more about this Two of Cups energy. See, this is two people deciding on loving each other. Deciding on being there for each other. Be patient, okay? When it comes to the seeds that you are planting, I feel like a lot of you guys want to connect with people who are worth the effort. They're not wasting your time. You're not wasting your time. Something that's actually true and healthy and reciprocal, and it's not based on unrequited love. It's based on, you know, justice and just all things beautiful. So you have been planting the seeds to come into these spaces and these energies. Okay, even when it comes to business, like whether this is professional based, personal, whatever the case may be, I feel like you're planting certain seeds, or at least encouraged to. But regardless, this talks about, see, it's like a garden. You know, you're planting things and you're waiting for it to sprout and grow and everything else. But when you're experiencing this, you're meant to be patient. Sometimes it's not going to happen overnight. And this brings us back to how you guys have been on this long journey. This long journey. You can have Libra placements. And I feel like you've just been resilient the whole way. And you're just encouraged to just to stand your ground. Okay? You've come so far without giving up. Don't ever let it cross your mind, because I'm telling you, you are at the epitome of, or you're at the cusp of a breakthrough. Something is coming in. Something that's going to be tangible. This is a relationship. This is prosperity, which is tied to your finances. This could be health. You know, when we're talking about pentacles, pentacles are just not referencing to finances. It goes hand in hand with the 3D plane overall, with your health and everything else. See, I feel like a lot of you guys were in this period of time of struggle. You know, even if you were struggling with other people. I'm seeing somebody who has, you know, there's something going on with their feet. It's just being like left out in the cold. They're outside of a church. Okay? Maybe a lot of you guys could have lost your faith. Maybe some of you guys, you went from being religious to being something completely different. Or maybe you're somebody who is religious that's still struggling on your path. But I'm seeing your spiritual team cooking something, guiding you, being there, your higher self, the different versions of yourself that you came into. It all matters. Even people outside of yourself. People come into your life for a reason. And vice versa. You are the teacher and the student in your life a lot of times. You know? So I know this has been a long journey for a lot of you guys, but I am seeing emotional contentment and a wish being fulfilled. Now, if you're not experiencing this right now, it will come. And some of you guys just a shift of a mindset, you can come into this energy. Some of you guys are feeling like, well, if I get that house, I'll be okay. If I get that relationship, I'll be fine. But you got to remember, you know how they say, oh, money doesn't buy happiness? You can't go into the store and say, oh, that's happiness. Can I get it for $5? You know, a lot of things it takes work. It takes consistency and everything else. So a lot of you guys, if you know that you have been planting certain seeds, etc., you're just being encouraged to be patient. You could be planting seeds in certain areas of your life, and maybe there's some seeds that you need to plant in other areas of your life, right? Only take what resonates. Water your personal garden as well. Mental, emotional, spiritual. Like I said, you have beautiful energy for whoever this is, and you're also attracting beautiful energy. This knight is facing this way while these two energies are kind of facing forward. It looks like the queen is kind of facing that way a bit. Their head is kind of turned. Somebody, a feminine energy is looking towards a masculine. But maybe both they have their own individual mission. So you got to learn to connect with people who reciprocates. You know, if you're connecting with people who are not really as focused on you, they don't know how to prioritize their own personal life and also balance it out with the people that they care about, etc., then you could look at that as baggage, a red flag, whatever it is. It's your life, right? Or you can look at it as in whichever way. But I will confirm more about the energy. What is up with these court card energies? Tell me more about the court cards. The Queen of Wands, the King of Swords, the Knight of Pentacles. Okay, so this is time to literally... Then we have the Queen of Cups on the back. Heartbreak, pain, sorrow, tears. Emotional and mental pain. So I feel like you're standing your ground or encouraged to. You've been very resilient on this journey. Some of you guys could be physically hurt. Like, I don't know if it's something going on with your head, your feet, whatever the case may be. Thank you so much. Let me know if you want a card pull up. I don't know how many points the confetti is. Or I don't know if you were just sending it in. But there's something new coming in. A new way of being, a new way of thinking, a new way of living. Maybe new money coming in. Health. But this is most definitely time to a relationship. And I mean... It could be a relationship with yourself. It could be a relationship of others. This is just the reality, you know? Because, you know, a lot of times we get tired of hearing about the love and, like, all this other stuff. But you don't have to look at it in that way. You can just look at it as your life, reality. You weren't a nun or a monk in your life, right? You have relationships with family and friends and lovers. Even if you possibly no longer connect with these people and you're attracting better. But regardless, we're talking about something that is still painful to this day. That's why some of you guys are alone in your solitude, encouraged to do the work within. See, you can't buy happiness. You can't buy peace. You have to do the work necessary so that you can come into these spaces. I feel like a lot of you guys, you're aiming for contentment in your life. Maybe you're already there. I'm literally seeing somebody's already there. Even though all of these other things have transpired and happened in your life, it's like you're doing better, but at the same time, you're still hurt. And that's the thing, you know, time... I was going to say time is not linear, but maybe I meant to say healing is not linear. You know, 1 minute, if you feel good, the next minute, you can still cry about something. But the overall energy, when I asked, was the 7 of Wands, and it came out with the 9 of Wands. So the 16th card of the major arcana could be significant, or the 7th card. If you don't know what it is, you'll have to look it up. Okay? Because I can't even recall at the moment. I want to say... the 7th card is the Strength. Or the Chariot. But I'm not even about to pop a blood vessel trying to figure it out. Maybe the Star energy is significant. So there could be some like... Oh, I got the thing right here. So the 7th card would be... yeah, the Chariot. Time to travel, control, action, willpower, determination. Knowing which direction you want to go in. Can also tie to forcefulness, victory. Did I say that already? Nope. And then I mentioned the 16, and the 16th card is the Tower. Is that the Tower? Child, I can't see. I think that's the Tower. And it's time to chaos, change, freedom, revelation, and awakening. So that's interesting. Those most definitely fit with what I'm saying. So there could have been some type of Tower moment, you know? But whatever is not built on solid foundation is going to come tumbling down. Some of you guys could have experienced ego deaths. You could have experienced a time where you had to let go and release certain things. This can even be present energy, not just past or future. Excuse me. Most definitely the present and the future is significant, though. But a lot of times it could be confirming things that have already happened. But I feel like right now, you guys... Excuse me, the overall energy... is courage. What is... I cannot see. Okay. Protectiveness and self-expression, as well as strength, completion, and determination. Encourage to stand your ground. Some of you guys are standing your ground. Even if physically you feel like you're the only one that's on your team. Feeling alone. Feeling by yourself. Not necessarily spiritually, but just in the 3D plane, physically. But you have been resilient. Extremely strong individual. Extremely. I feel like you should give yourself more credit. You should actually celebrate yourself. You have a beautiful spirit. People will be lucky to have you as a friend, a lover, even family. You deserve healthy relationships, and I feel like you're gonna get it. You just keep on standing your ground, being resilient, and creating the life that you want. You choose who you love. You don't have to settle for people who you've already met and they've already shown you why you need to cut them off, why you need to set boundaries, why you need da-da-da. Because the thing is, you naturally have your boundaries, etc. So when it comes to the point to where you still have to enforce boundaries, it just shows that some people are just not on your level. And I don't feel like you should keep putting yourself through that. See, I feel like when you don't wear your heart on your sleeve and you learn how to balance out, like you stand in your power and learning how to balance out this beautiful heart of yours with your own intellect and wisdom, you'll get very further in life, especially emotionally. Some of you guys, even though you've experienced so much hurt, you still have a smile on your face. You still know how to smile. You still know how to be kind. You still have the potential to love people. You went through the worst of the worst, literally. Whatever you went through in your life, whether something was a cherry on top, whether it was that one situation, 2, 3, you've overcome it. You may still be going through the challenges and navigating life and learning how to live as this new version of self, but don't forget, the journey is constant. Okay? You end one thing, you come into a new. Right? Ending one chapter, coming into a new cycle. Coffee could be significant, whether the name, the drink. Some of you guys could be doing new things, trying something new. Maybe it's encouraged. Especially when it comes to your routine. Maybe you need to stick with a routine that's actually beneficial to whatever goals and whatever else you're trying to reach. Because a lot of times that's really all it is. If you want the relationships, if you want the healthier lifestyle, if you want your life to be what you've envisioned and all this stuff, sometimes it just takes you implementing the change and being patient when it comes to the results. Just because you don't see the results doesn't mean you're not making progress either. So be patient with this life that you're manifesting, because something is coming in. I feel like it comes in different areas and different forms. A lot of things doesn't just drop in your lap right away. Some things may do, possibly not all. I could be talking to someone with olive skin or melanated skin. Someone who could possibly wear tight clothing and at times baggy clothing. It's giving me mixture energy. You could have like short hair, you don't have to. Somebody could be getting ordained or something. And it's funny how I said that and somebody came in with the name The Holy ... Queen of Cups, very psychic, intuitive, compassionate, nurturing. You could be pouring all this energy back into yourself, or at least encouraged to. This is usually a woman who, or a man, you know, gender fluid by all means, but somebody who will give their shirt off their back, comes to people's rescues, make sure, you know, people feel seen in this person's energy. They feel loved, respected. But I feel like some of y'all, you didn't got into the wrong hands of people, and you ended up becoming really hurt. Maybe even having regrets along the way. As somebody who's very psychic and intuitive, you could be in the state of confusion. Maybe you could have some secrets. Maybe you were dealing with people who had secrets, people who possibly caused you some type of confusion. But that's why it's important to come back home to self. Thank you for the gifts. If you guys want to get a card pull, all you have to do is send in a 100-point gift or more. Somebody could be holding on to you, or maybe you're holding on to something too tightly. You got to loosen the grip, okay? Whether this is towards finances. Some of you guys could be saving up for huge purchases. I'm seeing intuition here. Thank you. Let me know if you would like a card pull of, whether it's with you and someone else or just for yourself. Luck is on your side. See, yeah, you being this person, when it comes to your emotions, it's like a teenager in their first love, you know? Okay, Star, would you like a card pull on you and someone else? Whether it's a platonic connection, a romantic connection, so family, friend, lover, whatever. Or would you like it for yourself personally? Okay. So you can only choose one unless you want to send in another 100-point gift or more. If you send that in again, then we can do that. Okay. So I'm gonna put these to the side really quick, and we're gonna do the card pull for yourself after we do the one for you and someone else. So this card pull that you want on you and someone else, is this a family member? Is this a friend? Is this a romantic connection? So I can know which deck I want to get for you. But I feel like a romantic connection. Okay. So, do you already know who this person is? If so, can you put your name down and their name down, and I'll give you like the overall energy of the connection. And is there anything in particular that you want? Like, I don't know if you want to know how somebody feels about you. I don't know if you want advice within the situation. Or just generally the overall energy. Like, just let me know what it is that you're looking for so I can give you exactly what you want. Okay, there could be somebody giving you guys something. He is not making the first move. Okay, so this is somebody who you haven't had a romantic connection with yet. You sent me his name. Okay, my other phone is somewhere. So if you're uncomfortable with putting his name in the chat, you can just do his initials if you feel comfortable with that. If not, I'll go see where my other phone is. It's probably just on my bed or something. Not yet. We're out. Okay, so y'all didn't come into a connection yet. You just have an interest in him. Okay, so I already know what deck to use for you then. Thank you for letting me know that. So, going back to what I had asked you before. It's funny how his initials are N-O. Like, it's giving no. Okay, but it doesn't have to be like that. His initials are N-O, and my name is Daphne. Okay, nice to meet you, Daphne. Thank you for your gifts. All right. So, do you want me to just pull a deck that I feel called to pull, or do you want me to be more specific and see how they feel about you, if they feel anything? You, like, I don't know if you have something specifically in mind. Give it a try. There is something there. Okay, so especially since he hasn't made the first move, you know, if you want to make the first move, you can, but do you feel called to this what's blocking you singles and relationships deck? This deck usually tells you the blockages or whatever that's going on within. I do not want to make the first move. See, I've always been the type to not make the first move for some reason myself. But in today's time, I got into this space to where I don't care to make the first move. But if you don't want to, and he doesn't, then y'all are possibly not going to be in a connection. But I'm going to pull this for you. Okay. Thank you for sharing. Okay. Just gonna move all of this out the way. All right, Cleansing the energy within and around. I would like to focus on Daphne's energy along with NO. Whomever NO is to her. Okay. What is the overall energy of this connection? I'm not the clearant. Daphne is. We're doing a card pull on her and NO. He has not made the first move, and she does not want to make the first move. Can I get an energy on this connection between Daphne and NO? There's an energy within and around me. Okay, we have too hard. You believe that it has to be hard, but it doesn't. Let love flow naturally in your life. Okay. So whether this is your energy or his, a lot of times this is your energy or the other person, or it's both of you guys. So if this is just simply your energy or his, it's giving that somebody believes that it has to be hard. You know, relationships aren't hard. People make them that way. Connections, it doesn't have to be as difficult. It doesn't have to be this, and that. Okay? Sometimes all you have to do is just talk to the person. Let them know that you're interested. Some people, they don't know that you're interested, so they won't, you know, make the first move themselves. Okay? And I'm not saying that's your situation, but I'm just saying things, it doesn't have to be hard, right? If you want to talk to someone and they want to talk to you, either you make the first move or they make the first move. If they're not making the first move and your intuition is telling you, you know, give it a go, it's nothing to be, it's nothing to worry about here, then, you know, why not? Other than that, you're going to get readings on a person. You're going to be in your head about the situation, whatever the case may be. Now, if this is this person's energy, like I said, it's just like vice versa. Okay? But if this is the overall energy in the connection, it just still remains, you know? It's giving too hard. Nothing is too hard. People only simply make it that way. How do you feel about what I'm saying? Do you understand? Now, as I said before, I have the feeling I should not make the first move. Okay. Well, if you have that feeling, then don't. Sometimes it's our intuition. Sometimes it's our fears or the projected beliefs that has been placed upon us since youth. But if it's your intuition, then by all means go with your intuition. Okay. A lot of times it's fine to allow things to come to you rather than you going towards things. But I feel like it really all depends, because that's also a belief. All right, if you guys want a card pull, all you have to do is send in 100 points or more for a card pull, whether it's with you and another person or just solely for you. Now, Daphne, you see how all the, I don't want to make a first move, or does he like me, or I'm not saying that's what you said. But you see how it's just like a lot of questions, not enough answers, not enough implementing, not enough action, whatever. Like, you guys literally were out together with a friend. Literally. But if something is telling you not to make the first move and they're not making the first move, then just allow things to flow naturally. Maybe it's meant for you guys to just be friends and be cool and get to know each other, because then maybe you'll come into this certain idea like, okay, he's someone that I wouldn't mind being in a connection with. Because sometimes our heart wants what it wants, and he wants to be the man. So how do you know that? Does he give kind of macho, like, did he already show a sign? You most definitely need to know who it is that you want. If you're dealing with people who are not in alignment with you, I feel like you shouldn't really give them the time of day. Maybe that's why you've been called not to make the first move, because if you do make the first move, maybe y'all are going to end up connecting with each other. Him not making the first move and you not making the first move, it leaves things as is, which is possibly cool. You were out with some friends and he came along. Okay. So I feel like you should just allow things to flow naturally. If he hasn't asked you out and you don't feel called to ask him out, just keep things the way it is, and, you know, just keep on pouring into yourself. Maybe he's going to end up asking you out. Maybe he won't. Maybe you'll end up connecting with somebody who's a little bit more on your level. I'm not saying that he's not on your level. I don't personally know him, but with the energy that's coming out, I feel like if things aren't as, like, shoot, you know, like if it's just like kind of hard or difficult, or it's not as simple and easy, and, you know, you have your intuitioning and whatever, I feel like that's also a sign. So I feel like whatever is going on in the connection, just be cool, just vibe, you know. I learned to at least give something a year before you try to invest in someone romantically or whatever the case may be. Because a lot of times within that first month of knowing somebody, you'll already see the red flags. You'll already know if this is somebody who you're willing to connect with, possibly even have family with, you know, because that's really important. You can't just allow, you know, when you first meet people, you don't really know them fully. You know, people can always show you sides of them that they want you to see. But how is this person going to treat you or react when they're upset, when they're depressed, when they're this? That's the main time you want to know how somebody, you don't want to see them in moments where they're social and they're just happy and whatever else. Because people, they can impersonate, they can shapeshift, they can do a lot of things, you know. And I'm sure you've been through your fair share of life and people. So if he's simply not pursuing you and you don't feel called to pursue him, then just let it ride out. You know, you could low-key really be saving yourself from heartbreak and disappointment and everything else. So I feel like at this time, just practice radical self-acceptance and love yourself with all your flaws. I don't know if you feel unlovable or if he feels unlovable, or if this is just something that you're not aware of at the moment. Maybe other people, especially romantically, is just not the main goal right now. Like maybe the goal is really self, you know, coming into solid foundations with self. Learning who you are and what you like. Sometimes we think we know who we are and we think we know what we like. Sometimes we rush into love. Sometimes somebody come around us and we feel like, oh my God, she's cute. Oh my God, she's cute. I like him. But it's deeper than that. It's bigger than that. You got to make sure that you know who you're connecting to. So when I pull more energy on it, it says unlovable. It says practice radical self-acceptance and love yourself with all your flaws. Now, maybe this is his energy. Maybe this is your energy. Maybe it's both. Okay? I feel like there's still some personal work that needs to be done on self. Whether it's on your end, his end, both. Because that's possibly why there's like this energy that's actively like happening right now. And I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but maybe this is just redirecting you back to self. Okay, life is not all about being romantically involved with the next person. Okay, life is a journey, it's an experience, and you never really know who a person is. Okay? I'm not saying he's a bad person. I don't know. I only pulled a few cards on the situation. But I'm telling you, and I don't even know if you really know him for real. I don't know how long it's been since he's been around. I don't know if he's been around for a year, if he's been around for 2 weeks, you know? But take your time on when it comes to relationships, especially romantic connections. Especially when you know that there's work that needs to be done individually. And I'm not saying just because you're doing your own work individually on self doesn't mean that you can't have connections, especially like romantic connections. But a lot of times you could get yourself in a sticky situation simply because you have the abandonment wounds that you haven't faced, the low self-esteem, the this, the that, right? There could be just different things that you need to build within self so that people can be able to pursue you, especially people who are right for you. Because, you know, you never know. Maybe this NO person is a no, okay? Or maybe they're a maybe. Or maybe they're a huge yes, right? But regardless of whatever it is, there's some underlying, there's some things that are needing to be, I just feel like it's a self journey at the moment. I feel like it should be a self journey. And then love can be easier. You know, maybe when you accomplish certain things within self or vice versa them, maybe you never know. Y'all can be in a union and it won't have to be all the being around each other and not making the first move, right? Or maybe this is happening exactly how it needs to because you or the other person or both of you guys are not yet ready to pursue one another. So I feel like things in the connection with you and whoever that person is, I feel like that's going on for a reason. And I feel like at this point in time, y'all just need to focus on possibly just still getting to know each other. I don't know, once again, how long it's been since y'all have met or connected. I don't know if this is somebody that's new, if this is somebody who's been around. But I promise you, if it's meant to be, it will be. But there's no point in rushing into something. And once again, I'm not saying you're rushing. But with this unlovable energy out here, it just shows that you or this person or both of you guys just has some, y'all have some self-acceptance and self-love that needs to be practiced. Because, you know, when we're in this energy, sometimes we're not as pursuable. We're not as in the best energy to where we can pursue someone and for them to pursue us. Does that make sense? Like I told you, relationships aren't hard. People make them that way. So if something is not as simple and easy as 1, 2, 3, and, you know, it's like this, then he's always posting about his insecurities. Okay, thank you for saying that. See, because I didn't know if you, like, understood me or if this was, like, you know, so I'm telling you, most definitely, I'm telling you. So if you already see that he's posting about his insecurities, first of all, I'm not going to say there's a problem with people posting about things and everything else, but it's different when you're doing the work on yourself and you're becoming a better person and maybe you're just venting to the world. And then there's another thing where you're just posting about your insecurities and like all this other stuff, because that could low-key be a red flag. So pay attention to those type of things. Like, it's okay to, we're not judging people, but we also have discernment. You know, there's a thin line between judgment and discernment. We have eyes, we have a brain, we have a heart space. We're not judging people like in a way that's like shunning them or whatever. But it's mainly in a way of getting your heart off of your sleeve and balancing out the mental and the emotions. Because when you're operating too much in that emotional space and lust or whatever the case may be, that blinds you from what's really important, which is the relationship with self first. What should come first is the relationship with self, because you can't really do anything with somebody else until you really come into like a certain point with yourself. And this is not about, oh, you got to love yourself in order to love others. No, a lot of times when we don't really know what self-love is, we can still love other people, yeah, duh, but it's deeper than that, because you can fall into the energy of self-abandonment, you know, obsessing over the next person, etc. That's what we mean, and we don't want to do that, you know. It's like he is working on himself and always reposting things that might be relatable to him. Okay, so Daphne, you may even, I don't know if you're a person that trauma bonds with people. Like sometimes you probably defend them in certain ways. Or maybe that's exactly what you meant to say. Maybe you did mean to say, oh no, I meant, you know, he's working on himself, and, you know, he just reposts what's relatable. But if you've ever found yourself having like a trauma bond, which is similar to being abused by someone, whether it was emotionally, physically, etc., but also still protecting them in some way, protecting their name, protecting who they are, you know, standing up for them. And like, for instance, say if you were in a, trigger warning, a DV relationship, and you excuse something that somebody did. Like if you got pushed while you were pregnant, and you would probably be like, oh, well, I was just 4 weeks pregnant, you know, and he just, you know, had these type of problems. Now I don't have a trauma bond. It's just clarifying. Right. No, I'm not talking about a trauma bond with him specifically. That's why I had said earlier, see, when I had read your message, I was like, I instantly thought of trauma bond. And that's why I had ended up saying, well, this doesn't necessarily have to be a trauma bond. Like if you've ever, not necessarily a trauma bond with this person, but it could have been with anyone. I'm not talking about the NO person specifically, because y'all didn't even get anywhere. Y'all haven't even been, you said y'all haven't even been romantically involved and everything else. So of course it won't really be a trauma bond, like romantically. Trauma bonds can exist outside of romantic connections, but the way that you had worded everything, it was like, well, yeah, he posts about his insecurities, and then it's like next minute he was like, well, I mean, you know, he just posts relatable posts. You know, that would like kind of give like trauma bond. So that's why I was saying that could really be, I don't know if you've ever experienced a connection in your life where you did trauma bond with someone. But yeah, I was just throwing that out there. I wasn't like labeling you or this and that, but I wanted you, if that was the case, like in any relationship in your life, if there was ever like a connection where there was a trauma bond, make sure you pay attention to that and look out for that, because that can be implemented in your next connections as well. So you want to be mindful of that. But anyways, going back to what I was saying earlier, that's why I had told you in the midst of what I was saying about the trauma bond, that maybe Daphne was just saying, like, maybe she just meant this instead. That's when I corrected that. But anyways, we're going to move forward. Okay. English is not your first language. Well, you seem pretty fluent in your English. But yeah, so with you and this person, I just feel like y'all have things that you need to, you or him or both of you guys just need to practice radical self-acceptance and love yourself with all your flaws. And it'll be easier. You know, it won't be like this push-pull dynamic and struggles and all this other stuff. And I'm not saying that exists with you guys, right? But I'm just saying it'll be easier. It'll be easier, whether it's this person, whether it's somebody else, whether it's even connections that aren't even romantic. So I just feel like you and or this person just needs to love self practice radical self-acceptance and love yourself with all your flaws. And then it'll be more smooth. Everything will be very much more smooth. Your friendships, your connections overall, even business-wise. Okay? I really hope that helps. I hope that makes sense. Does this make sense? Okay, great. Okay, so I'm going to close that out. And I'm going to pull you cards specifically for yourself. So which deck calls out to you? Is it the Spirit Messages Oracle cards, which is just messages from your spiritual team? Is it the Angel Number Messages, which also comes with an affirmation? Or is it the Spirit Animal deck? The black one. Okay. I don't think you've seen this one yet. So I'm going to give you... You still want to do the black one? Okay, you want to do the Spirit Animal? Okay, cleansing the energy from NO. I want to focus solely on Daphne's energy. I'm not the current. She is. What Spirit Animal message calls out to her more? What message does she need to hear? We got Inner Strength, the wolf on the back. What message is there for Daphne? What message is there for Daphne? Your throat chakra could be significant, Daphne. We got the ant on the back, which ties to perseverance. But the card that came out for you was the owl. Tying to observation. And that's funny how we were just talking about the other connection. That's possibly why your intuition was telling you don't pursue. Because maybe you're just meant to observe things, you know. But it says you are being encouraged to look beyond deceiving appearances into the true reality of a situation or a person's motives. You need to hear what is really being said despite the words and emotions coming from the messenger. Okay? You can interpret this however way that you choose, but when I had got this energy, it's just literally paying attention. Not going based off of emotions, whether it's of your own, whether it's of theirs, but really hearing and seeing clearly without external or internal things interfering with the reality of everything, you know. So once again, I'm gonna read that to you again, and if you always want to come back to this message, I am going to be posting this video on YouTube. So once again, you got the owl, which also ties to wisdom. Okay, but in the Spirit Animal deck, it's tying to observation. And it says, you, Daphne, are being encouraged to look beyond deceiving appearances into the true reality of a situation or a person's motives. Now, maybe this could be talking about the NO person. Maybe this could be talking about other connections and relationships. Okay, even strangers, because that's how you end up forming relationships in the first place. People start off as strangers, and then they become someone who is a familiar. So just apply it to how it fits for you. Okay? This can be present energy, and this can also be future. So, Daphne, you need to hear what is really being said despite the words and emotions coming from the messenger. Because looks can be deceiving. And remember, we just talked about earlier how people can shapeshift and mimic. Like, some people can portray a good person and a person who likes you or this, and that, when in actuality, they want something from you. They're going to suck you up dry and then just abandon you, right? Sometimes what somebody is saying or how they're coming off doesn't give you the full story. Sometimes you got to really just pay attention and observe. See, that's once again going back to the NO person. Maybe that's why you weren't called to pursue him. You were possibly just called to sit back, wait, see if he will possibly make the first move, or really just get more insight on this person. Because sometimes, once again, you don't really know a person until you do. Okay, sometimes people be with somebody for 5-10 years and they don't even really deep down know that person. But it's crazy because people can't keep a mask on that long. It's only like to a certain amount of time, the mask is going to slowly start falling off. People can't impersonate what they're not for too long. So you gotta not let your own energy get in the way, or what other people are trying to get you to see, you know, get in the way. Trust in your wisdom and observe. That is the message that I'm seeing for you. Does that make sense? And remember when I was saying that the throat chakra was significant? So maybe people can really come off very deceiving just by them talking, just by what they're saying, and they could like possibly fool you. I'm not saying this, you know, this is you and that it could happen, but I'm just saying sometimes people can try to impersonate being a good person. They can talk a good game, but it's really an illusion. So you really have to pay attention for real. And you really have to give some things time. Even when it's relationships like this NO person, I feel like you're doing good by trusting your intuition and not pursuing this person, because maybe you're going to see exactly why you were not called to pursue them. Because maybe they're not worth pursuing. Got to be mindful on who you have as friends and who you have as lovers in your life. Remember, we choose who we love. The first person that pops up, you don't have to say yes to. You don't have to give them a chance. Like, that's why it's important to tame your passions, because sometimes us being beings of love and you know, our heart space, sometimes we're lover girls and lover boys, right? That's exactly how I feel, yes. Especially with friends, right? See? So confirmation, thank you for sharing that with me and trusting me with your message. I appreciate you for the gifts. But yeah, that's pretty much what I'm saying. Just keep on trusting in yourself. I feel like you're in alignment, you know. And I also feel like the collective message could be for you as well. Like, keep standing your ground, because you've been through a lot. You've come very far. To just keep on trusting your intuition and keep on observing. Okay? Observers don't necessarily act, especially off of impulse, etc. Like, I could feel like, oh my gosh, this person is cute, I like them. But I also learned that I can't just keep rushing in with my heart, or rushing in and this is like the first day of meeting this person, or this is like the first, you know, week or whatever of meeting this person. I have to give it some time. And if this is meant to be anyway, then I'm not going to miss out on this. And I have a lot of love and respect for myself, that I'm not even so desperate to connect with people outside of myself anyway, because my energy is really great anyway. So I'm not missing out on nobody. If anything, people are missing out on me. So if I'm going to connect with people, it's going to be people who are actually emotionally intelligent, who's actually safe to be around, etc. It's fine when, you know, you're a nice person and, oh, this person, they're just talking about how they feel, but you got to really pay attention for real. Because some people, it'll turn into a trauma bond real quick, or it'll turn into a situation where you was like, man, I should have just trusted my intuition. Something told me not to pursue this person, whether it's a friend or whoever, you know. But that's pretty much the messages that I'm seeing for you, love. Like, be quiet and see how this friend acts. Like, just observe. Like, you don't even have to speak on something. You don't even have to say, hey, I noticed that you were being weird with me the other day. And like, because a lot of times that's going to give people the energy to play with your mind. And they're going to tell you, oh, no, I wasn't being weird. I was da-da-da. And then now you're in this energy of being confused between what you've seen and what they're telling you, you know? So sometimes just keep it to yourself, because your feelings are valid. And a lot of times when we are as intuitive as we are, and everybody has intuition, we just have to listen to it. So just take your time, okay, when it comes to relationships. There's literally no rush. You have your whole life, okay, your whole life. And just because you come into connections with people the first time around, doesn't mean that you give them a chance, okay? Sometimes you just need to really see who a person is for real. And sometimes that takes more than one day, more than 1 week, more than 1 month. Okay, but I promise you, it'll happen in under a year where you will really see somebody. And it's not as long as you think when you're protecting your heart space and you're protecting your peace and you're protecting your journey. It's not as hard or difficult as you think. Yeah. So you can't be fooled. You know, a wise man, they say that the wisest person is one who doesn't talk as much. You know? And I mean, maybe, yeah, just observe, you know, whether you're quiet or not or whatever, because you don't have to be quiet. You can be vocal, but it's just about what you say. Don't allow people to manipulate you. So if that's driving them crazy, then you must be dealing with narcissists. Because a lot of times when you don't give narcissists what they want, they retaliate. They start smearing your name, trying to turn other people against you. You know, they feel obligated and entitled to you. So just be mindful on who you're connecting with. Just observe. And if you see that there's anybody who you need to release, make sure you do so. And like you said, people end up telling you exactly what they did wrong. A lot of people already know why you cut them off, why you're pulling away from them. You don't have to explain yourself because you're giving them the space to play with your mind. Like if you know that you're cutting somebody off because they're not trustworthy, and then you let them know, hey, I'm going to pull back some because I just feel like you're, you know, that there's been some lies and there's been this. And then next thing you know, boom, they telling you, oh no, that's not what that was. And, you know, I was just down or anything, right? So that's why just observe, pay attention, and move and act accordingly. You don't just be quiet and let people treat you any kind of way and do whatever they do. No. You don't just sit and be quiet and let people do. No. You're only observing so that you can make your next move within the situation. So that you can see things for what it truly is without letting your emotions, their emotions, get in the way of the reality. Because like I told you, anybody can try to portray a certain image, can try to say certain things and not mean it, etc. So that's that inner wisdom for real. But I return your energy back to you, and I release my energy back to me. Thank you again for the gifts. It's pretty much what I'm saying. So you honestly possibly dodged a bullet. And this is something that you can take with you for future reference as well, to also dodge more bullets. You're so welcome. Thank you. Okay. Now, you guys, we're doing a collective. I'm getting back resumed into the collective. But if you want to get a card pull on you or you and someone else, all you have to do is send in gifts that are 100 points or more. Okay? Excuse me. Now, I'm going to get back into the collective. Okay. So I'm seeing destiny, fate, cycles, changes, good luck being on your side. Especially when it comes to this union. Okay? There has been some type of heartbreak. This could be people who you were in a connection with for years. Maybe you were doing the same thing in different connections with different people for years. Maybe you were somebody who were connecting with people who were emotionally immature. Maybe you were somebody who were like a kid in a candy store, right? When they, like a teenager who can finally get their first boyfriend or girlfriend. You know, the hormones are in, everything else. You know, so maybe you were operating from this naive and gullible space. Heart on your sleeve, whatever, right? This energy also ties to a younger immature individual, or this could be a message of love. Maybe somebody wants to send, maybe you've communicated something with someone. It can tie to emotions, relationships, creativity. Maybe you've expressed yourself in some type of way. Maybe someone wants to express themselves to you. Maybe they already did. This could be a Queen of Wands and King of Swords dynamic. Dealing with somebody who's head over heart, while this other individual is, you know, confident, beautiful inside and out, family oriented. Okay. Maybe this was someone who you were collaborating with. Maybe this was a teacher-student dynamic. Maybe some of you guys, this is talking about platonic connections, romantic connections, professional life. I feel like there's something new here. Maybe the relationship has shifted, changed. Maybe there's an offer coming in with a new person, or this could be a renewal of something within this connection. Two people deciding on giving to each other. Like, okay, I'm gonna give you my heart, and the other person's like, I'm gonna give you my heart too. This could have been a karmic connection. It doesn't have to be. I feel like this could be somebody who you struggled with financially. Maybe this could have been in a form of emotional wounds, mental, spiritual, whatever. Maybe you or this other person was left out in the cold, whether it was by each other or by other people. But somebody is holding on for dear life or something. I don't know if it's finances. I don't know if it's each other. I don't know if somebody's holding on to you while you're walking away, or you're holding on to them while they're releasing you. But whatever seeds are being planted, you're being encouraged to be patient. Especially when this is coming to a new you, you know, your manifestations. You could be in the public eye, being recognized, praised, etc. Maybe this is someone who praised you, vice versa, who you've praised. Maybe you're attracting people who are on your level. I'm really getting like public eye for real. If you guys want a card pull on you individually or with other people, you can just send in 100 point gifts, okay? It can be 100 or more. My nose, every time I'm channeling, my nose always itches. Oh my gosh, I hate that so much. But the overall energy is standing your ground and being resilient. Thank you, Tamara. If you want a card pull, love, let me know. And let me know if it's going to be individually or with you and another person. It doesn't have to just be romantically. It can be platonically as well. But I'm seeing contentment. It's given like one person is possibly not as content as the other. This is personal contentment. This is not, oh, everybody's happy. This is like whoever the querent is, nah, them alone, they're happy. If you guys want to get a card pull, whether it's with you, like just you individually or with other people, all you have to do is send in gifts that are at least 100 points or more. Okay? Miss Tamara, if you wanted a card pull, could you let me know? Or if you were just sending that, thank you. So, you guys, I'm seeing literally people coming together, celebrating. I'm seeing graduations, baby showers, friendships as well. This could be third parties. It doesn't have to be like the negative connotation of third parties, like, oh, this is an affair, somebody cheating or whatever. But third parties is in like third party interferences, like maybe a person's wounds are interfering with this. Maybe their friends are in their ear, or, you know, stuff like that, whether it's on your end or theirs. But I'm seeing somebody embarking on this fresh start, this new beginning, literally doing something that you possibly haven't done before. I'm seeing a pioneering spirit, somebody who is a speaker. Maybe they're interested in the arts, theater. Oh my gosh. That's their tower moment, yeah. Is this for me? Miss Tamara, no, this is a collective. Are you wanting the card pull? If you want the card pull, can you let me know if this is a card pull just for you and your energy alone, or if you want this card pull on you and another. If you want it on you and another, could you put their name down? And if this is a romantic or platonic connection, and if you just want it for yourself, then you could just let me know it's just for you, and then I can go ahead and pull you that card. AG, please do not spam. Okay, if you want to get on the list for a question or reading or whatever the case may be, you can always send in a donation. But if you guys are wanting a card pull, all you have to do is send in gifts that are 100 points or more. Right now, this is a collective, but I will be doing a card pull for Tamara when she tells me exactly like what she's looking for. So yeah, I feel like some of you guys, you're just in solitude. You're doing some reflecting, or you're encouraged to, but I'm seeing that you're moving towards calmer waters. You could be preoccupied with financial matters at the moment. And like I said, I feel like you guys and whoever this other individual are, y'all are just on your own individual journeys. One person is on their own journey while they're still focused in on the other person. And that other person is like solely just focused in on themselves, or not really on the other person. Does Renee have negative energy towards me? So, Tamara, you would like a card pull on you and Renee? This is just a card pull. It's not necessarily a question. So, if you want to do a question... Okay, so I'm gonna give you a card pull, okay? If you want a question, that's something different. You'll possibly have to send in at least 4 more of these 100-point gifts. But if you just want the card pull, I'll give you a card pull. Okay. All right, can I get a card pull on Tamara and Renee? Cleansing the energy within around me. I would like to focus on Tamara's energy and hers alone, along with Renee's. She wants a card pull on their connection. Can I get a card pull? I'm not the queen, Tamara is. Can I get a card pull regarding her and Renee's connection? Three of Wands, signifying travel, moving forward, etc. You can already kind of be like 1 foot in, 1 foot out with this connection. And whenever you're in that space, in that energy, it's more easy to feel like somebody has negative energy towards you. They're not on your team. And I'm not saying you're being delusional or, you know, having trust issues, because maybe she did come off in a certain way. Could you tell me if she, like, did she do something to you to make you feel like she has negative energy towards you? If you want to send it to my messages like privately, you can, but if you feel comfortable with typing it in the chat, like yes or no, is there something? Yes, she did. I'm seeing free yourself on the back of the deck. It says you don't need to be in control of everything for a love relationship to be successful. So either you can accept people as they are, or you can leave them alone. So since this wasn't necessarily a question, I didn't purposely ask, does Renee have any negative energy towards Tamara? I mainly just was getting a whole, just tarot message for you in your energy. If you have ChatGPT, you can ask ChatGPT, what is the Three of Wands referencing when it comes to me and Renee's connection? Because I personally feel like she has negative energy towards me. Okay? But let me see if I can pull you. Okay. Can I get a card pull for Tamara and Renee's dynamic? Can I get a card pull for Tamara and Renee's dynamic? So I don't know if you're comfortable with telling me what did she do or not. But if she did do something that obviously was distrustful, distasteful, narcissist tendencies, then I feel like you do better with getting a new friend. Okay? You don't sit and put up with people's stuff just because you love them or they're your family member or friend or whatever the case may be. Self-love, self-respect, all of that goes hand in hand. If you're a good friend, you deserve good friends. You don't deserve to be the emotional punching bag, the one like somebody as if you're a rug and they walk all over you. You deserve to feel safe and supported and have like true friends in your life. So if this person genuinely is not a true friend, because only you know that, as I said before, I don't know if you feel comfortable with telling me what she did, because I'll instantly let you know, oh yeah, girl. But it's complicated. She's a bit of a gatekeeper in the community I belong to. She's quite high up. So coming out with you guys is show off, okay? This could be your energy. This could be her energy. I don't know if you guys are secretly in competition with each other, but it says needs to prove themselves. Okay, we're talking about somebody who's insecure and an exhibitionist. If you do not know what exhibitionist is, I feel like you should look it up. I do. Tell me more about this Three of Wands energy. So this is probably more professional life. Okay, so see, gatekeeping, I could see how you would feel some type of way about that for sure. Because a lot of times things are not like, if you're feeling heavy vibes, there's some heavy magic involved. Oh, okay, yeah. See, that's not... See, when you're dealing with people who are witches, and a lot of people, they don't use magic for good, okay? They try to manipulate, they try to hurt people and everything else. So if you don't trust people, if you can't trust them automatically, you wouldn't be able to even trust them when it comes to magic and spell work and rituals. If I can't really trust a person like that, let alone me finding out that they do magic as well, I'm just straight up like, I don't want to be their friend. Okay? I don't even want you to know me as a stranger. Okay? Because that's really serious. People really be around here doing all type of spell work. And I'm not saying that these things come into fruition But you'll be surprised, especially when you have a belief system, that people can do magic on you, because what you believe in, you bring to reality. So if you can't trust this person, and you may also want to pay attention to the other people who you're in this community with. She's a published author in the field too. So sometimes, like I said, sometimes things can be excused, especially if people have genuine intentions. Because sometimes when people are that high up, sometimes they... And I don't want to... See, gatekeeping, that's different. See, I don't gatekeep, and I don't understand why people do it either. But it makes sense with this show-off energy coming in. Sometimes people are in this energy where they're like, well, I'm like this, and I don't want this person to be in this energy. I don't want this person to be more successful than me. I don't want this person to figure out this and that. You know, why can't we all win? You know, why can't we all help each other? We're in a community, you know. That's why I'm letting you know, whatever community you're in, and she's also a part of it, you may also want to pay attention to the other people in the community. You know, similar to... the birds flock together thing, or the be mindful on who this person's friends are as well, because sometimes people can see exactly what you see as well, but they're still their friend because maybe they embody certain traits that person embodies as well. So you really want to be very careful on who you connect with. I'm bringing something new, and I think she might be a bit threatened by me. I get you, girl. So it's really important that you trust in your intuition. Sometimes it's probably all in our heads. Sometimes we're, you know, we have our own shadows and things that we need to work on and whatever. But a lot of times that's not the case. A lot of times we really know what we're talking about, and a person showed us exactly what we needed to see, and it's just up for us to, you know, decide what we're going to do with that information that we have. So if I feel like you just really need to move forward. I feel like you need to oh my gosh, you need to disconnect. See, I don't know why I'm getting like anxiety. Well, I don't have physically like anxiety, but the way that I was talking, it almost sounds like somebody who has anxiety. So if you're ever nervous or conflicted about a situation, you may want to connect with people who don't bring forth this energy. Like either it's your own energy that you need to work on, or either you're spot on with this community that you're talking about, and you need to just move on, like cut them off. I've worked in the therapeutic industry for 10 plus years, but I'm not sure on this one. See, that's what I'm saying. I feel like you're a person that, I don't know if you have the favorite color of blue, but I feel like you are a person, like, you can't do stress. You can't do non-peaceful situations, right? Maybe you're a person that, see, people who usually, like, I learned this psychology fact today. People who favor the color blue are usually people who are peaceful. They don't like chaos. They're not, you know, with the drama or anything like that. So I feel like you exude and do better in connections that actually are not filled with drama and competition and all this other stuff. So, and you said, are you a Taurus? I'm a Taurus too. So Tamara, Taurus energy. Like, what you see is what you get. Yeah. What you see is what you get. Like, don't butter it up. Don't fairy tale it up. Don't fall into disillusionment. Like, what you see, pay attention. Like, when somebody shows you their true colors, you believe them. Okay? So I do hope that helps, okay? Because with you guys' energy, like I said, I'm not sure whose energy this is alone. But as you and Renee's connection overall together is coming off as show off, right? That's why I mentioned, I don't know if you guys are in secret competition with each other, or I don't know if this is your energy and her energy, or just one of you guys' energy, but we're dealing with somebody who needs to prove themselves, okay? Somebody who's insecure, somebody who's an exhibitionist, maybe somebody who wants to win at all costs, you know, whatever. Thank you. I actually want to look up the word exhibitionist because I forgot what it means. But yeah, maybe you should really just free yourself from this situation, like, and connect with people who are on your level, you know, who's just as sweet as you, who's not a gatekeeper, who are peaceful. You know, you don't have to worry about if they're going to do magic on you, or if, you know, you don't have to worry about it. Okay. Yeah, thank you for sharing that. So yeah, honestly, I feel like you should trust in your intuition, and you should go where you're welcomed, go where you're liked. You shouldn't have to put up with, you know, you should be with people who are genuine and who are not full of themselves and everything. Welcome to the team. Thank you. Okay. So I tried to keep this as biased as I could, to where I don't tell you what to do in your own life, that you do whatever you feel called. But this is pretty much what I'm seeing from a person who doesn't know you or your life or this other person. This is just what I'm seeing. So this is meant to give you confirmation on what you possibly already know. So I do hope this helps. So if somebody is in this energy, if they need to prove themselves, or maybe this person wants you to prove yourself, okay, maybe both of you guys carry some insecurities. Maybe this is solely like her energy, how she shows up, you know. But I think earlier you said you know what exhibitionist means. So Taurus, I'm picking it up. See, yeah, you know, Taurus are like the sensual, grounded beings. I'm not saying every Taurus is, because I know a few Tauruses, okay? And I've even dated one, and child. But a lot of times, we're cool, we're calm, we're collected. You know, we're not with the drama, we're not with the extraness. We're very, like, trustworthy and caring people, you know? And I feel like you should have that in your life. Any relationships, whether it's business, whether it's family, friends, lovers, right? So just be around people. Be around the right people, okay? I don't do gatekeepers, okay? We do festivals, and we have different ranges of product. So when you're dealing with professional connections, you don't want to make it personal, okay? Don't try to find friends where you work at. Don't try to find lovers where you work at. Similar to, like, if you stay in an apartment, don't be out here trying to, you know, date people where you live. And it's similar to don't SHIT where you EAT, okay? Like, keep it strictly professional, because then your emotions and your feelings and everything else won't get involved. And, you know, then, because see, this right here, it seems like it benefits you in some type of way. But you don't need an audience to be successful. You don't need other people in your energy to be successful, okay? Success is within. It's not outside of you. It's not how many clients you have. It's not how much money you have. It's not none of that. But that's why I'm saying whatever you're doing, it possibly helps with your business in some type of way, which is cool. But at the same time, not every opportunity is a great one. And that doesn't mean that will be your only opportunity. And it also doesn't mean that you need these people to succeed in life, you know? So I would just say to trust yourself. You work smarter, not harder, you know? But that's why I'm telling you, because you may come into, and see how you already connected with these people. They've already showed you something that you can now do on your own. When I connected with somebody that was a nonprofit organization, they actually helped me realize things that I've already knew to do, like marketing, etc. So maybe you've learned exactly what you needed to learn in this connection, in these relationships, business-wise and personally. You're so welcome. It was great to meet you. Thank you for trusting me. But yeah, so it's really all up to you. If you're gonna continue to be around this energy, I don't really think it's as healthy for you. I think you're a peaceful person, and I don't think you will really flourish in these type of environments, you know. That's why I was telling you, for future reference, when you get into professional dynamics, keep it that way. Don't try to be friends with people. None of that. A lot of times this world will chew you up and spit you out, honey. Okay, so make sure you connect with people who you can trust, who you can actually build with, because there's many people in the world, right? Famous, this, that, but is it worth it? Is it worth it? It's not worth the mental the mental anguish and the inner turmoil and everything else. Okay, but it's all up to you, whatever you decide to do. Either you can keep on learning from this group and doing this and doing that and keeping your distance from that, whoever that person is, knowing that you're protected, and also do your own protection work. Okay, or you can take your business and your beautiful energy somewhere else where it's actually, you know, praised and wanted and, you know, respected. Thank you, Tamara. Thank you. I wish you the best. I wish you the best, love. I'll return your energy back to you and I'll release my energy back to me. Okay? You never know. There may be something better for you. I feel like it always is. If something is not that grand, I always feel like there's always many more opportunities and options and everything else. Like, always. We don't have to sell our soul, our peace, our anything for anything. I don't care if you have $2 to your name, you are still as successful because it's about who you are. You're so welcome, Tamara. Thank you, love. If you guys want to get a free, well, not a free, if you guys want to get a card pull, all you have to do is send in 100 point gifts or more. Okay? If the gift is 100 or more, you can get a card pull for you alone or other people. Okay, but I'm gonna get back into the collective if you guys are, if you don't want to do that. Okay, but if you do, that option is available. Yeah, and Tamara, I don't know if you're still here, but I was gonna tell you, I don't know if some people, they try to come off like, oh, sorry, and then they do the same thing over again. Like, be mindful of that. Or maybe if you find yourself being the one to apologize in situations. Like, what? I didn't even do nothing. I'm over here apologizing. You know, that speaks a lot about the things that we just need to work on and heal anyway. That's exactly how it is. Yeah, see, no. But look, see, that's the thing about free will and how we create the reality that we live in. Life doesn't have to be filled with snakes in the grass. Just cut your grass and keep the snakes out. We choose who we love. We choose who we connect with. We choose who we do business with. It's all up to you. But if you are, you know, sometimes you got to work smarter, not harder. And sometimes that doesn't involve sacrificing your peace and everything else. You never know. When you leave one situation, something new may come in. Because I did see the Page of Pentacles on the back of the deck, which talks about a new job, a promotion, etc. Maybe you can connect with the other people in the community and or not. See, or not. Especially if they know how that person is and they're just dealing with it. So you got to be mindful on people who see somebody's low vibrational energy and they still be around them. That's a red flag as well. Literally have on Turbo cutting through that grass. Yes. Yes. I do wish you well. I do wish you well. Remember, life doesn't have to be hard or a struggle. Okay? And a lot of times your energy is very rare. You want to be around other rare individuals. I don't care if this person was a billionaire. And you, I don't, you know. Because a lot of times, I'm telling you, it's about who we are. There could be people who's a published author, a billionaire, who's nasty on the inside. No. You deserve to be around people who are just as grand as you. Okay? Some people want you around for your ideas, for your energy, etc. But they don't deserve you. You got to also pay attention to that. Sometimes we're around people because we feel like, oh, well, I can get ahead, or, oh, they can teach me something. There is billions of people in the world, okay? There are billions, and there's also better people to be around. So you have to realize not everybody belongs in my energy. Not everybody deserves access to me. Okay? I've already built other connections. Page of Pentacles come for me. For real. Love that for you. You got this. You got this. I feel like you are already wealthy. And I feel like if you're aiming for financial wealth, it will come. You know, just take a practical approach to things. If she's a gatekeeper, she probably won't even give you the blueprint on how to become a published author or how to become this and become that, you know? This is why I don't deal with gatekeepers. And that's why I'm saying some people, they don't purposely mean to gatekeep. Some people do this out of possibly protection of others, of themselves. That's why I said be mindful on if you have some things that you need to look at within your own energy. But honestly, I feel like you could be right on the money with this person, you know? That's what the situation is. Yeah. Trust in your intuition. Okay? But for future reference, don't keep professional life professional. Keep your personal life personal. You don't tell your boss and your co-workers about your trauma and the things you're going through. And that if y'all making money together, keep it as that. Don't get your emotions involved. Don't take things too personal. I'm going to get there anyway, by any means, with or without a person. I'm telling you, they don't. One monkey don't stop no show. They're not the catalyst to your success. You are. But if they're already a gatekeeper, then they're just in the way. You're not a gatekeeper. And I wish that I could... Let me get my phone so I can look up this exhibitionist energy. Because it's bothering me. I gotta get the definition so I can say, because I forgot what it meant. Define exhibitionist. Oh, it means a show off. Okay. And it's funny how you said they're a publicist, because this says self-publicist, attention seeker, extrovert, show off, poser. Yeah, no. Be around people who are be around people who are genuine. Because sometimes if one apple is moldy, the other apples get moldy. Energy is contagious. You don't want to be around anybody who is not good within. Next thing you know, you're going to be playing those same tricks. And you don't need to you just need to be your grand self and also connect with other grand people. But that's interesting how you're in a community. That's interesting what you guys do. But I just feel like it's the wrong people. See, I don't mind being in a community like that, because it actually seems like you guys are getting somewhere and doing some type of work. Maybe we could collaborate and work together. I actually have not been pursuing business connections or partnerships. I've always allowed people to come to me. I've never been the one to like go towards people. I mean, I've tried, but I didn't really succeed because I don't know. I just did not find the people. But it's fine. But that was interesting what you had said. That's why I said maybe that's beneficial for you, but not when people are not in the best energy. See the Justice in reverse and the King of Pentacles in reverse. People who are of greed, unfairness, And that doesn't have to just be for you particularly. I'm going to give other space now. Period. And okay. Maybe you can tell me more about like what you guys like do. Because I know you said products and everything like that. I actually wanted to get into my own products, like making my own tarot cards. Or not tarot, oracle cards. Okay. Looking forward to it, queen. Thank you again. Talk with you later. You guys, my phone is also about to die. It's on 18%. I may put it on the charger and still stay on here, but I don't know. I may just get off. All right, but resuming back into the collective. Yeah, some of you guys were just curious or something. Or maybe somebody is curious, wanting to come towards you. Somebody's just wanting love from you. Energy, something. But I feel like y'all are at a break. You're giving something a rest. And I feel like that's only because of your own energy being drained and you being on this journey for so long. I just feel like it's alignment. And you're coming into this space and time where you are creating solid foundation. Solid foundation within self, therefore solid foundations externally. This is providing you with things that you can continue to build on. Not something that's going to fall over, okay? Maybe somebody is wanting to put more effort into something and everything else, but honestly, I think you guys are just ignoring certain things. Yeah, because something was just like the same old, like. You were getting mixed signals. You know? But yeah, keep setting your boundaries. So I'm telling you, one day, someday, you're going to get exactly what it is that you want. Someday, somewhere, another time, just keep, you know, I feel like a lot of you guys came into this energy where you're like, you know what, enough is enough. I'm drawing the line. I'm saying no, etc. And I feel like that's because you're learning the lessons. You come into this space and time where you just weren't in the best energy, you know? And I feel like you have to be real with yourself. And maybe some things were brought to light to you. Maybe even people confess certain things, or maybe somebody wants to confess something to you. But I feel like you're just in this state of confusion. Maybe somebody else is confused, uncertain, unclear, unsure. But something is about to be revealed if it hasn't already. Yeah, cloudy judgment. That's what I was saying. It's crazy how a lot of you guys are very intuitive, psychic, etc. Like I said, Queen of Cups energy. But you still come into this energy where your judgment is being clouded. That's why I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. That's because there's illusions. That's because people are showing you certain energies and then coming off the next. That's because you know what you know. It's not something that's as logical. It's more deeper than that. So maybe this is just you learning, honestly. I feel like that's what it is. You're just learning. And things are being revealed to you. And I feel like the more that you stand on your boundaries, you're going to come into exactly what it is that you want, deserve, yearned for, prayed for, manifested. Sometimes it just takes patience. See, y'all was dealing with people who never had facts. Y'all was dealing with people who makes things up. They lie. That's why y'all were in this energy of being confused, because your intuition was telling you one thing. People were actually exposing themselves, etc. Whether things were becoming clear to you, people were confessing, whatever. But for some reason, you were just getting confused. It's like, but the answers are right there. So maybe you were, yeah, maybe you were just dealing with people who tried to make it seem like that wasn't the case. Or, you know, they had good traits, but also bad traits. That happens. Okay? Possibly dealing with people who abuse divination. Okay? Or maybe some of you guys, you were kept getting readings on a situation. Or maybe other people were abusing divination and like trying to get information on you and your life. You're dealing with people who was talking shit. Excuse my language, that's what this card says. Okay? Okay, we got legal issues here. Court, judges, immigration, lawyers, etc. People got all this stuff going on in their life, yet they always partying. You got all this stuff going on. You creating a smear campaign towards the collective. You robbed the collective of something that was regarding finances, their emotions, their time, their energy. You completely stolen the collective's smile off their face, money out their pocket, their life, whatever it was. And the thing is, we have our own accountability that we take, right? But your feelings are valid. Because like I said, I feel like a lot of you guys, you were just operating in this space of love and, you know, just giving yourself to people, you know, especially emotionally. You were like literally very caring and nurturing. And I feel like you've got into that energy towards the wrong people. Now, you don't have to look at this like, oh, I'm too nice. This is like a gift and a curse. No, it's a beautiful thing. You are very rare. When you embody certain energy of someone who's reliable and trustworthy and safe to be around emotionally, mentally, etc., that is beautiful energy, a true gem. Okay, hi, Bless. But then you were being robbed of certain things. Robbed of a genuine connections and friendships filled with support. You see how the gem came in? I literally just got done saying you guys are a gem. Hi. So, yeah. I told y'all, I said people were getting readings. Or maybe you were the one getting readings. But I do feel like some people was like getting readings on you. And they was just making stuff up. Like, I don't know if they were the reader themselves or they was going to other people who did divination. See, divination, it doesn't just have to tie to tarot. So maybe somebody was doing some type of candle magic, etc. But see, divination, if you look at what divination means, it's usually using certain tools to come into things that are more of mystery and this, and that. So in one form of divination could be tarot. You know, it could be card readings. But it also can be in other senses. You know. So maybe people, they were like literally trying to even force a message. Thank you so much for the gifts. Throwing bombs. So you guys, at first it was December the 26th. Okay, but it's a new day now, so it's December 27th. It's currently 1 a.m. People was probably staying up late, honey. See, I feel like a lot of you guys, this is tied to more than one connection. For some of you guys, this was dealing with people who you had karmic ties with, people who you loved. But like I said, sometimes people rob you of exactly what you're meant to experience. But the thing is, that's when we take accountability for ourselves in our life. Welcome to the team. Hi. Hi again. You know, it says robbed, lost, theft, physical or emotional. seeing somebody in a car. Be mindful on people who try to talk to you while you in a car or they're in a car. Like, I'm telling you, if you walk in and somebody honk the horn and pull over, hey, what's going on, shawty? Don't give them a chance, child. See, y'all was dealing with people who had legal issues. You possibly came into some type of legal issues. You know, but I feel like you don't deserve the back and forthness. You don't deserve the make up to break up, to make up to break up, reconcile, break up. You know, but that's what I'm saying. It's all a part of the plan, because if we knew better, we would do better, right? So I feel like this is just you guys coming into setting boundaries more. You know, at one point in time, maybe you didn't do that. Maybe you were just operating from a space of, like I said, wearing your heart on your sleeve, giving, not receiving. And I feel like now you're coming into this energy where you are attracting better connections in your life. And you're also coming into this newfound version of yourself that's wiser. You're stronger now. You went through so much and you overcame so much. A lot of you guys, this has made you even more tough. Now you're embarking on this brand new beginning. And you're starting over, but you're starting over with experience. You're starting over with wisdom this time around. Make sure you're not starting over and doing the same things over and over again. Because sometimes you already know the answers because you've already went through the battles and the experiences. Sometimes you just got to reflect back on that and not forget your wisdom. You can't forget what you learned. Some of y'all, you actually do need to get into introspection, though, so that things can become more clear. But yeah, stand your ground. Stand your ground. You're building something solid here, especially within yourself and your life overall. Something new is coming in. We got romantic love affair, sex fix, secret lover. Either you were somebody's secret, vice versa. You used sex to feel better, or maybe other people did with you. Maybe somebody put you in a affair. Maybe you did this, but people can't pay their bills on time. You was dealing with people who you can't fully trust, people who are like forcers or love bombers, and I feel like something has been shined. A light has been shined. Your light irritates their demons, actually. That's why they're always starting something with you. That's what I'm saying. You're wasting your time with being in certain connections like this. And if you're in certain connections like this, that's only because you're still learning, experiencing, whatever the case may be. Just think about before, when you were down this path, down this journey. You didn't know any better, and now you're just figuring things out as you go. And now things are becoming more clearer and everything else. Your number 14 could be significant. Flip side, discipline. You never know. Being disciplined, the grass is most definitely going to be greener. Okay, I'm telling you, keep on being disciplined. You're going to get exactly what it is that you want. Say no to the things that you don't want. Say no to crumbs. Say no to people who are not in energies that you're in. Like, if they're not emotionally intelligent, no. If they're not safe to be around, no. Okay. It says grasp the key to the problem. Then we have inspiration in the reverse. Some things are just tired, played out, done. We got challenge here. Deception. Yep. Cradle. And silent. Be quiet and alone. Believe in the light within. Welcome to the team. Thank you. If you guys want to get a card pull, all you have to do is send in a gift that is 100 points or more. Yeah, observation. Exactly. Just observe. This is not a time to speak and act and this, and that when it comes to certain things. This is a time to observe. This is a time to go within. Because a lot of things, light has already been shined on a lot of situations. Literally. There's been endings. There's a new beginning here. You embarking on this brand new journey. And now you have the wisdom and the lessons that you've learned. You just can't forget that, okay? Look at that gemstone. I'm telling you guys. It says precious and beautiful things. I'm telling you. Connect with other gems. Why are you connecting with like silvers? Okay. And silver could be good, right? And gold and everything else. But I'm just trying to make a point. Gems connect with gems, okay? But you live and you learn. If you find yourself not connecting with other people who are on your level, then maybe you just got some more bump your head that you need to do, okay? More things, right? Just like before, like I said, when you were operating with your heart on your sleeve and you learned not to do that, that's all it is. Maybe you're just learning, experiencing. That's really all that's happening. Okay, so don't beat yourself up about anything, but also don't slack. When you know that, Jacqueline, please do not spam the chat. If you want to get on the list for a question, a reading, or card pulls, if you send in 100-point gifts or more, you can get a card pull. But if you guys want to get on the list, you can. Nobody is currently on the list. And if you want a card pull for yourself or for you and someone else, all you have to do is send in a gift that's 100 points or more. Right now, this is a collective. But yeah, just keep setting your boundaries, you guys. You're going to get exactly what it is that you want. It's going to happen. I'm telling you. You just have to. That's like, you know, if you're wanting to get across the water, somebody's going to get on a boat to get across the water. Take a practical approach to things. If you want healthy connections, you're not going to keep on getting into connections with people where there isn't, you know, healthy dynamics, where a person is not safe to be with, right? You're going to connect with people who actually are. Don't forget to give me a follow, you guys, or you may never see my face again. You may never see my face again, okay? Make sure you give me a follow. Yeah, so you was dealing with people who were very psychotic. And the thing is, they possibly were functioning psychos. You know how people say, trigger warning, functioning addicts? Like, somebody could be addicted to things, you know, but it doesn't really look like it. They look healthy. They don't look whatever. But psycho came out. It says crazy ex, obsessed, won't let go. And it's also coming out in the reverse. So maybe some people are trying to come off like they're not in this energy. Somebody is losing sleep. Maybe somebody turned you into the crazy obsessed one. And that's what I'm saying when we take accountability, right? We're not going to point the finger and say, oh, you made me crazy. But I understand what you mean by somebody did this, somebody did that, right? I understand. Okay? Virgo, Gemini energy could be significant. But just keep saying no. Keep on setting your boundaries. And I'm telling you, enough is enough, right? You'll know when enough is enough, because you'll just be done, sick and tired of constantly going through the same stuff. And you will start focusing on yourself. There is self-growth, self-focus, soul-finding. And I feel like that's where a lot of you guys are right now at this time. Nourishing yourself, because you've been robbed of a lot of things. You know what I'm saying? You came into people's lives full. 1111 110. You came into people's lives 4-5 4-5 6 3-4-5. You came into people's life 1122. You know, your P's and Q's. You came into really grand energy, and you left the connections totally not in the same way that you came into it. Okay, some of you guys were coming into connections emotionally balanced, positive. Then you left the connection, child, obsessed and abused, and you know, that was just so not fair, right? You deserve to be connecting with people who are just as grand and loving as you are. But that's the thing about free will, okay? Sometimes we just get taught what not to do, okay? Thank you for the gifts. So yeah, I feel like whatever pain this was, it's completely changed you and it's changed your life. Solitude, introspection, guidance, inner wisdom. Yeah. New beginnings, innocence, opportunities, leap of faith. With this Fool and Hermit energy out here. 0990 could be significant. 000000. Yeah, there's a lot of zeros here. Infinite potential, unlimited possibilities. So you have infinite potential, and there's also other people out here with the same. You don't have to settle. You don't have to keep being robbed. I'm telling you, you guys deserve to be in connections that aren't difficult, stressful, hard, etc. Why are you being robbed? Why are you being robbed of happiness? Why are you being, we got 1010 here. And that's what I'm saying. It's us, okay? Aquarius energy could be significant, Capricorn, Pisces, Scorpio. But why? You're literally robbing yourself of a life that could feel free and worth living. You know, a lot of people have regrets and their life just feel like it's not worth living. That's because what choices did they make or did not make? Sometimes that's what I mean, but we have to take accountability for our own actions instead of pointing the finger towards everybody else. Because a lot of times the people who we are connecting with and the things that we put up with and deal with, it shows a lot about the things that we need to work on ourselves. Because now we're operating from a space of self-abandonment. Now we're operating from a place of lack. And why is that? You don't have to beat yourself up about anything, because I'm sure it stemmed down from childhood. A lot of times it can show a lot about the love that you did or did not receive from your parent or guardians. You know, maybe you had a parent that, yeah, maybe they did love you, but they didn't provide you with security or made you feel safe, or, you know, well, as long as I fed you, that's good enough, you know, whatever, right? And they're not to blame, right? Because if that's the case, we'll be pointing fingers for generations after generations, right? We'll point it towards the mom and the dad. Then we'll point it towards their mom and their dad and their mom and their dad and the great-great-great-grandmas and great-great, you know, we'll just keep on pointing the finger. So just focus on embarking on this brand new beginning. Take that leap of faith. Do the work that's necessary. Okay? Because I feel like a lot of you guys came into a space of withdrawal. A lot of you guys could be antisocial. There could be fear. You could be isolating yourself. There's a lot of sadness going on. A lot of paranoia. When it's not supposed to be like that or feel like that. That's why y'all got to go within. You can't keep trying to move forward in your life going through this, going through that, going through this, going through that, and feeling like you're going to poof into a better energy, because it's only going to be temporary. Maybe, yeah, you'll smile and laugh in 1 minute and 1 second, but it always come back into sadness and, you know, whatever else. That's because you're still healing, okay? But for others of you guys, this stuff happened 5-10 years ago that you're still needing to reflect on and heal. Other things, it's a little bit more fresh. But overall, the energy is really just reflecting introspection. It's not about talking and acting in this way. It's really just about going within so that you can tend to whatever these things are in the shadows. You got to bring light to it. This is what's going to free you. This is what's going to free you. Thank you for the gift. Yep, I'm telling you, whatever. See, a lot of you guys, you were sleeping with the enemy. You were deceived. Lover's energy. Right under your nose. Right under your nose, honey. This was mental work. Mental defeat. Mental pain. Emotional pain. And you just kept eating it. Eating it. Persevering. Being resilient. That don't mean that it didn't hurt. That don't mean that it was something that wasn't that big. The collective still able to move forward. No, this tore you up, spit you out. This was the worst things that y'all could have ever went through in life. That's why it completely changed you. There was so many things that you went through, and that last final thing on top of all the other stuff that you've been going through, it was just like cherry on the top, and this completely changed you. So I feel like whatever happened in your youth all the way up to now, it needs to be reflected upon. It needs to be let go of, released, so that you can come into this new empowered version of self, so that you can be freed from all the pain, all the lies, all the deception, all the trickery, all the underhanded behavior, the betrayal, the deceit. Like I said, your time, your energy, your love, it was not reciprocated, and a lot of things was stolen and taken from you. And you don't have to look at yourself as like a victim, like, oh, this happened to me. No, because like I said, you're just learning and experiencing. Now you know better. Now you wouldn't do a lot of the things that you've done before. 9/11 on the clock. 117 444. A lot of you guys, you are seers. Doesn't the word sound like seers? You see how it still sounds like I'm saying seer, but I'm saying SEEER. Seer. That's what it is. Seer. You see things. You can spot something a mile away with your eyes closed, okay? I'm telling you. Some of you guys could for sure be empaths and a lot of things. So it's just, you didn't imagine the things that you went through. And a lot of times when something happened over 10 years ago, sometimes you just keep on moving forward in life and you're operating in the present moment. Yes, but at the same time, you still could be living in the past subconsciously. Your brain, like a lot of times, I don't know if you know, but humans in today's time don't think with 100% of their brains. They barely think with 50. Barely 30, you know? So this really hurt really bad because I feel like you guys were really connected with people. You loved with your whole vessel. And maybe you feel like this was in return, but a lot of people, they didn't come into the energy that you came into. But little do you know, there was something of the subconscious. Because sometimes it's both. It's both people. It's you, it's them. And when y'all come together, it just goes straight to HE double hockey sticks, child. Because of the unhealed trauma and the wounds and the things that have been buried that you don't even see for real, that you're not even aware of, and vice versa on these other people's end. You probably think you coming in top tier, top notch, whole time you coming in with abandonment wounds, daddy issues, whatever, and vice versa with these other people. So I'm not saying you weren't all that in the bag of chips. Of course, yeah, but at times you possibly gave too much while other people gave too little. You know, there is a such thing. Like, you could be in this beautiful energy, innocence, purity, but still carry certain things that's not as healthy for yourself. Therefore, for others, you know, we blame other people for not showing up how we showed up, when in actuality we gave too much and we weren't as attentive with our energy. We love too early, too quickly. We've given ourselves away to this, to that. And this is not to blame you. This is just to really, like I said, it's a living and learning experience. So maybe this can help you not have so much resentment or whatever towards other people, because forgiveness is key. You're not forgiving other people because, oh, I'm over it and it wasn't that big of a deal, but mainly for your own peace. So whatever this connection was, I feel like this was some type of lover situation. Most definitely, I'm talking heavy romantic connections. A lot of you guys, this is a romantic connection. This is not to say that this didn't happen in platonic connections. Like, of course, we know that there was some, right? But the main energy that's surfacing, aside from your platonic connections or whatever else that resonates with you, is like whatever this romantic connection was. This was somebody who you may have felt like was a soulmate. But maybe they've done something that was mentally defeating. So I just feel like a lot of things were just brought to light. And some of you guys, you isolated yourself. You cut these people off. You disconnected from them. You separated. And I'm not saying that was wrong to do. I feel like a lot of you guys, if you were connecting with people who didn't reciprocate energy and everything else, you're more than right to put your foot down and say what you will and won't allow. Good for you. But don't hold so much onto the pain and to the hurt, because people don't mean to hurt you. Some people, the demons are just too, like, the entity is attached, honey. People got to heal. But if people don't realize what they got to heal and you don't see the energy that you came into, it's just going, man. And then I'm thinking of London Bridge is falling down, falling down, falling down. London Bridge is falling down, my fair lady. Oh. I kind of want to get you guys a channel song. It almost sounded like I was about to say child. 1, 2, 3 on the clock. So let's see what a channel song is going to be. Uber is significant. Right when I clicked on a soul mix, the advertisement came on, and the advertisement is Uber. But I'm gonna give it a second. Yeah, we got the Queen of Swords, the Page of Wands, 8 of Cups. Some of y'all, you done said some things that probably cut deeply into somebody's mental. Maybe you said some things and you was as blunt as it get. And I feel like that's just because a lot of you guys had enough and you actually emotionally withdrawn. If you were still like very much connected and emotionally like intertwined with a lot of people, I feel like maybe you would have been a little bit more softer. But I feel like, I don't want to say people turned you cruel, but I mean, you did come into connections where you just become wiser. So I feel like you're not, a lot of times, yes, that Queen of Cups energy is still there, but I feel like it's not overpowering your wisdom and your intelligence anymore. We got Sweetness coming on. It's by Leon Thomas and Elmine. It's called Sweetness. Let's see what it sounds like. Okay. Y'all can go check that on your, whenever you want. But yeah, look, withdrawn, single, lonely, and solitude. This is such a sad energy. But I don't know, maybe your intuition is just having you sit down somewhere, child. You're such a beautiful person. But I feel like you possibly were in obsessive energy, or maybe you have other people obsessing over you, especially whoever this ex is. But you've been hurt to the core. You've been hurt to the core, and I feel like you've changed completely. And I feel like this is a time where you're pouring back into yourself. Balance is being restored. New connections are coming into your life, whether it's friendships, romantic situations. Okay, like I said, you're physically starting on something new, but all of this is happening while you're heartbroken. You're working on things, whether it's hobbies or yourself or whatever, your health. But I feel like judgment has been called, whether this was spiritually things was coming to light, or whether you yourself decided on something when it came to a lover situation or a connection, I feel like you're just moving forward. You probably don't want anything that you've already had, because you outgrown it, or you're just not emotionally there anymore. So I feel like you're manifesting things, maybe doing magic in some type of way. There was some illusions, some secrets possibly. You guys were in your head. So I feel like you're just doing work on yourself, or you're encouraged to. Okay? But I feel like somebody wants to offer you something, whether this is a new person or the same person. But y'all are still hurt deeply. So I just feel like right now, this is a time of just nourishing and watering your personal garden, and just healing and growing, and not accepting less than what you deserve. Okay, you are literally standing on business, or you're encouraged to. Some of you guys literally are done with the past. Like, you literally like, I'm not there emotionally anymore. I'm not putting any more work into this situation, any more this, any more that. Some of you guys, maybe you're still trying to give something effort and work on something or whatever. Or maybe this person outside of your energy that you're leaving behind or moving away from, maybe they're trying to offer you something and come back in or whatever. But I just feel like you're really, like, things that is old news, I feel like you're done. I feel like you're tossing out, because you can't really trust these people. Some of you guys feel like there's secret competition. Some of y'all see these people as enemies. You like, okay, keep your friends close, keep your enemies even closer type of energy. And if you got to be in those type of energies, then what's the point? You're not interested. Yeah. There was arguments, maybe even a physical fight here. Somebody was just at war, whether it was at war with themselves. People were competing. And it's like they didn't have it was no point in arguing. It was no point in competing. Like, what was the reason? Cardi B, what was the reason? I don't know if y'all ever seen that, but she was really like, what is the reason? What is the reason? Like, damn. So it was just giving, like, fighting for what? Mad at me for what? In competition with me for what? Like, what? Why? What? Why? What was the reason? Because there was, like, literally no reason. And the thing is, like, you just got to charge it to the game, okay? You just got to charge it to the game. All right? Y'all be having people that's trying to bully you. Some of y'all could have been dealing with gang stalking. I'm seeing something about a screenshot. Or maybe you've been keeping your own receipts. Or maybe that's what you need to remember. Like, don't forget what you learned. Don't forget why you're moving forward. Don't forget why, you're not investing in this connection anymore. Yeah, it can't be trusted. Now you got people who are crying over you. Whoever this person is, they're sad, they're hurt, they're upset about the situation. But they didn't make no sense. They was over here making things up. And like I told y'all, this doesn't have to just be romantically, even though romance is standing out tremendously. Romance is standing out tremendously, okay? Most definitely talking about a romantic connection or two. But it doesn't limit the reading from your platonic connections, the friendships, the family, whatever, right? But I know most definitely we talking about a romantic connection. So I feel like a lot of you guys, you've just become in isolation, honestly. Not even solitude, straight isolation. But I feel like, you know how to be like, there's a time and a place. I feel like isolation, I don't think if that's what you feel called to do, then okay. But honestly, I don't feel like isolation is healthy, okay? Unless you're doing it in the way that's good for you. Like maybe you have a goal or something. But there's isolation and there's solitude. Solitude, you're still in your own individual energy, but isolation, you're completely isolated from the world, from anything, your heart space. And maybe you're doing that because you feel like there's nobody here for you. There's nobody out there. No need to cry. He was having fun partying with the karmic and hiding it. Period. Some people, they just got to learn the hard way, you know? We all get taught certain lessons in different ways. We get taught how our heart was on our sleeve, you know? So we take our accountability for that. We get taught we let somebody in too quickly, bypassing the red flags. And these other people outside of us get taught, you fumbled a good thing here. You know, but nobody's to blame. And I'm not saying your feelings are valid, collective. But for some reason, as I'm doing this reading, I'm getting a whole new outlook on the situation and perspective. Like, it's interesting. And I like that because it can help you move forward. Like, for a lot of you guys who possibly been cheated on, etc. These people don't purposely choose to grow up and be the most hated person in the world. We all start off as innocent and pure. A lot of people don't believe that, surprisingly. A lot of people believe, even as kids, people are demonic and whatever, narcissist, whatever. But me personally, I feel like as in your youth, you're more closer to innocence and purity, therefore the energy of God, right? So nobody purposely knows or wishes that they're going to grow up to be the most hated person, that they're going to grow up to do heinous things, you know? Maybe certain things was taught. Maybe it was the product of their environment. And I'm not blaming this on anything because, like I said, we all need to take accountability. Facts. Even us who gives too much, who falls in love too quickly, who, you know? So your feelings are valid, but we can also just take heed and accountability on our end as well. Maybe we were a bit too open, you know, a little bit too in the space where it will be easy for us to get our heart broken, you know? And once again, this is not a blame or a point the finger at the collective type of thing, because like I said, you live and you learn, you know? And sometimes if you knew better, you'll do better. So it's just like looking at the situation from like different angles, you know. We got reflecting here. We got uninterested. We got rejected. See, y'all are reflecting or you're encouraged to, especially so you can heal. I feel like you or whomever, somebody is just uninterested and they're rejecting this people or whatever. Now this person is stalking, watching, obsessed. Maybe it's you. But you're dealing with people who want to be you. They act like you. They dress like you. They try to look like you. They copy you. Maybe that's the third party. Or maybe this is your own friendships and family situations. You got people out here who cock blocking. They don't want you to get no fellatio. No banana. Starting drama. See, a lot of y'all, this is the ex. Don't want you to get into a new connection either. So some people, they just wasting your time simply so that you don't get into a new connection. It really all depends, okay? It all depends. But some of y'all, you've moved or you're going to be moving. And I'm seeing that there's going to be somebody that's going to be into you and only you. There's going to be good chemistry here, great vibes. It's going to be very positive. And maybe some of y'all, this is how this connection was. It was great vibes. It seemed positive. And then next thing you know, out the blue, everything just came tumbling down. You know? Now all of a sudden, you can't trust the person who you've trusted with your life. Now all of a sudden, you're uninterested in the person who you had the most chemistry and passion with. You know? It be like that, you know? It don't have to continue to be like that for the rest of your life. Life doesn't have to be, you know, in that way. That's why I say you live and you learn. So forgive, move forward. I feel like we attract certain people for a reason. Not because, oh, you attract, like what everybody's saying, but it's like deeper than that. Like maybe you've attracted, like, it's like similar to the empath and narcissist paradigm. How is a narcissist able to bag an empath? How is the empath get into a connection with a nurse? You know, that's because of the underlying issues that both parties have. One person is the overgiver, the overachiever, the one who pours into people more than the other. And that's a problem itself. That's beautiful that you're filled with so much this and so much that, but you need boundaries come into play, you know? Boundaries. So a lot of you guys, you had to learn how to love in a healthy way, because maybe you thought the way that you were loving was healthy, but in actuality it wasn't as healthy because you were over giving. You know, sometimes we feel like, well, how is that not healthy? I'm giving. Is that not good? Well, it's not good for you. It could be good for the other person, but not even. Not even. You know, so that's just what I'm saying. Regardless, you guys are beautiful inside and out. I'm not taking that away from you, but it's just like sometimes you do things that's just not. You could probably be the most loving person, the most empathetic person, but that doesn't mean that that's good or healthy. When things are balanced, now that's good. When you're in your power, that's good. You can't be in your power. You're over here over giving and connecting with narcissists and like all this other stuff, because it shows the things that you still got work that you need to do. So that's really all that I'm saying. Like, yes, collective, your feelings are valid, but maybe this experience was necessary. And I'm saying necessary because, I mean, if you could have avoided it, you would have. Apparently, it couldn't have been avoided. So it was just something that you needed to experience and learn from. And these people, vice versa, met you for a reason, you know? Not because they're, oh yeah, collective is an overgiver, but mainly to focus in on their own energy, how they are showing up. Just like vice versa with you, how you showed up, etc. Yeah, it says trap. We got GPS. Then I thought of where you're going, where you're headed. My phone is on 1%, so it may die. We got effed up over you. It's also coming out in the reverse. 19.5 is significant. We got no strings. I'm going to have to end the live, you guys. My phone is about to die. We got S addiction and workplace affair. Ew, it's giving one of those situations where people will go in the bathroom at work watching X-rated videos or doing certain things to themselves. Like, it's weird. We got pregnancy, DNA, fake news. A whole lot of drama, chaos, unexpected things going on. Regret, discontentment, trauma, pain, a lot of things. But, like I said, you guys, you can create the life that you want to create. Okay, just do the things that you want to do. Say no. Keep moving forward and just be patient with the seeds that you're planting. Okay, I have to end the live. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.